Hey guys, it's Hasio. This video is part 2 of my Ryu's Basics 101 guide, and we're going to be going over Ryu's special moves and how to execute them on a fight stick or even on a controller. So the movements are the same regardless of what you use. So even if you're using a directional pad, if you're using the analog stick, or even if you're using the fight stick itself, how you input the moves is identical across the board, right? So a fireball is down, down forward, so even if you do this on a pad or whatever the case is, it's down forward. So it's the exact same thing, right? So just regardless of what you use, the movements are always the same, right? Nothing will change, right? So this here is going to be a good representation of how you should be moving your analog stick, your D-pad, your fight stick, on how to execute it. People tend to have issues primarily with Ryu's uppercut motion, so I'm going to show you exactly how it needs to be inputted in order to execute it properly. So one thing that I will say is for fight sticks, there's a few options. So generally, when you pick up a Mad Catz fight stick, or if you have a Mad Catz fight stick, doesn't matter what, if you get a TE or TE2 or Plus or whatever the case is, they all come with a square gate. And then you can mod it and you can put octagonal. And I talked about the differences between the three: the circular, the octagonal, square, and whatnot. So I do have a video if you guys want to check that out. But I'm just going to be using the circular gate just because it presents well. But the motions, regardless, fireball's down forward, right? Down, roll up forward. Same thing with this, right? And same thing with this, right? So it doesn't matter what gate you use. So I'm just going to put that out there just to let people know. So I'm just going to be using this just to make it simple, right? Okay, so let's get into this, guys, and we'll start it up with the first special move. All right, for the first special move, we're going to be going over the Hadouken, or Fireball, as people like to call it. And the directional input for this, as you can see over here, is down, and you roll up into the forward position. And then once you're in the forward position, you add a punch button, right? So depending on the speed of your fireball that you want it to go, light will be the slowest, medium would be a little bit faster, and then a hard punch would be the fastest fireball. So just letting you guys know the differences between each of the punch buttons and what effect it has on the fireball. So let's get into how to execute a fireball. And like I mentioned before, regardless if you're using a fight stick, a pad, the directional inputs are exactly the same. So what you want to do is we're starting in the center position here. And what you want to do is you want to go into the down position and then roll into the forward position. You don't want to do any jerky motions where you're doing this or this. You want to actually go down and then roll into the forward motion. And once you're in this forward motion here, you want to input your punch button, whatever punch button you want, right? It could be jab, could be hard punch, whatever the case is. So again, you want to go down, roll into the forward motion, and once you're in the forward motion, you hit the punch button. So technically, you want to hit your punch at the same time you get into the forward motion. You don't want it to be into the forward motion and a second later you're hitting your punch. Your fireball won't come out. You want to time it so that you go down, roll into forward, and you hit the punch at the exact same time. Once you do that, you'll get a fireball out. If you have issues with this, you got to go into training mode, and I'll show you a video right now. And you want to turn on directional inputs. And once you turn on your directional input, you can actually see your motion of your pad or your fight stick, and you should clearly see a down, forward punch button, whatever punch button you use. And you want to do that consistently. You want to do that over and over again. You want to practice. And again, you don't just do it for one side. You have to do it on both sides. You want to practice this motion on both sides. And that's pretty much how you do a fireball, guys. So, just practice it. You'll get it down. It's probably one of the more easier moves in the game. So, it's not too complicated. Practice makes perfect. So just keep at it, and you'll get that fireball motion down. So let's move on to the next special move. All right, guys. So let's get into the second special move for you, and it's going to be the Hurricane Kick. But before we do that, I should have mentioned that these move inputs are assuming your character's on the left side of the screen facing the right. And if your character's on the right side of the screen facing the left, then you just got to input these moves in reverse. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is assuming your character's on the left side of the screen facing the right. So let's talk about the Hurricane Kick. So it's a good thing we learned about fireballs because we could apply what we learned on how to execute a fireball with Ryu and apply that into Ryu's Hurricane Kick. So Ryu's Hurricane Kick is down, down, back into the back position. And so just like a fireball, how we went down, down, forward into the forward position, we're going to do actually the reverse. We're going to go down, down, back into the back. So same thing when we want to do it, fluid, smooth motion into the back position. So we're starting the down position, roll back, and hit a kick. And again, you want to hit the kick the same time you get into the back position. You don't want to have a delay or else your kick won't come out. So again, it's going to be a down into the back. So you just want to roll into the back, hit the kick. Roll it into the back, hit the kick. Roll into the back and hit the kick. And again, bring this into training mode, guys. Turn on your directional inputs to make sure that those inputs are coming out and practice it on both sides. And once you got it down, you can move on to the next special move, which we're going to be covering right now. All right, so the next special move we're going to be covering for you is his Uppercut or Dragon Punch or Shoryuken. There's multiple names for it. But this is probably the most trickiest special move that beginners have problems with. And I think one of the issues is because of the Z pattern that it shows over here, and people don't know how to, really input this. And it really is kind of like a Z pattern when I do show it to you, right? Now, so let's get into it. So, how to do an uppercut. So, we're going to assume this is going to be on a fight stick. On a pad, I'll teach you another way of doing it. You could do, a pad's a little bit different. Let's talk about a fight stick, because I think this is where people have the most problem with fight sticks. So we're going to start a neutral position in the center here. And obviously, to start the uppercut, you want to go into the forward position. And then what you want to do is you want to go into the down position. So there's a couple ways to do it. What you don't want to do if you're on a fight stick, what you don't want to do is do this, roll into the down position, and then roll into this. I find that if you do, so when I mean roll, it means like you're kind of using the bottom pillar of your fight stick and actually rolling it off the gate. You don't want it to roll off the gate, right? So what you want to do is kind of do what it shows here in the Z position. Is when you're in the forward position, you don't want to roll off the gate. What you want to do is you want to go into the down, right? So you want to kind of just cut it into the down position, and then you can cut into the down forward position or roll into the forward position. My preference really is that when I'm in the forward position, I cut into the down position and then roll into the down forward position. And once you're in the down forward position, just like the other moves, you don't want to wait for a delay. As soon as you get in the down forward position, you're going to hit your punch button. So again, the motion is forward, down, down, forward, right? So again, so you're in neutral position, you're going to go forward, down, down, forward, and then hit the punch button. So regardless of what gate you use, that's what you'd be doing, right? You don't want to go into a forward position, roll, and then roll, like rolling off the gate, or, that's going to cause issues. I think most of the time it just doesn't come out, right? So you really want to be, once you're in a forward position, cut into the down position. Don't roll it off the gate. Just cut into the down position and then, hit the down forward position and hit your punch button. And once you get that, it's actually pretty simple. And if, it's just practice, guys, right? You don't want to be rolling it off the gate. Now, the caveat here is if you're on a controller. This is one thing, because I am experienced in both, because I played tons of Street Fighter 4 on a pad. And for Street Fighter 5, I did migrate over to a fight stick. On a pad, you can just if you're using the analog stick, because I was an analog stick user on a pad, you can just roll down. You can just be in the forward position, roll, and then roll here, and then it'll come out. You don't have to do none of this cutting into the down position and then into the forward. You don't have to do that. So on a pad, it's much more lenient. You can actually just roll, completely roll off of it, roll into the forward, and then hit your punch, and the punch will come out. So it is definitely more lenient on a pad. But I find that people have the most problems on fight sticks with the uppercut. And again, it's probably because they're in the forward position and then rolling into the down position and then rolling this way. And if you do that, it probably won't come out. 99% of the time it won't come out. You actually have to be in forward position, cut it down, and then get into down forward position and hit your punch button. And that pretty much, concludes the uppercut portion, and hopefully that helps you guys out. I know a lot of people have issues with this, so again, just take it to training mode, practice it. Exact same move on the other side. You want to cut down and down forward, hit the punch button. So take it to training, practice makes perfect. All right, so we're going to get on to the last special move that we're going to be covering. All right, so for the last special move we're going to be covering is reuse critical art. And assuming that you've mastered the fireball motion, actually you're going to need to master fireball motion, then you can start tackling the critical art. So once you have that down, you're going to be doing these motions. So really it's 2 fireball motions and then a punch button. So the way that would look is you would go down and then roll into the forward position and then roll into the forward position again and hit a punch button. What you don't want to do and what doesn't work, again, sorry, this is for fight. We're going to talk about fight sticks. Sometimes there are nuances between fight sticks and controllers. So let's talk about fight sticks, for example. What doesn't work on a fight stick is down, roll into the forward position, roll down to the position, roll into forward position. That does not work in Street Fighter 5. It used to work in Street Fighter 4, but that doesn't work in Street Fighter 5. What you actually have to do is actually go into down position, roll into the forward position, cut back into the down position, roll into the forward position, and then hit the punch button at the same time. So that is one of the trickier things that I've learned is like before I was able to just, start down, roll up, roll down, roll up, and then hit the punch button and it would come out. But Street Fighter 5, it just doesn't pick up that motion or that movement. So you really have to start down, roll into the forward position, cut back down, roll into the forward position, and then hit the punch button. Right. For controllers, again, a little bit more lenient. You can roll off the, I guess, quote unquote gate, whatever you want to call it on a controller. You can just slide it up, slide down, slide it up, and hit the punch button, and your critical art will come out. So that's pretty much how to do it, guys. Again, it's just practice, going into training mode, turning on your inputs, your directional inputs, and just practicing it over and over again. Rule of thumb, and many have probably heard this, is that you want to do whatever special move you're practicing on, right? And whether it's fireball, hurricane kick, uppercut, what you want to do is you want to go into training mode, start on the left side, see if you could do 10 in a row, and then if you got 10 in a row on the left side, jump onto the right side, and then do another 10 in a row on the right side. Once you got 10 down on each side, you can graduate and move on to the next special move. And once you got that all down, then what you're really doing is you're training your muscle memory. Your muscle memory is saying, okay, I know how to do a fireball, right? This is what I can do to do a fireball. When you're in a match, you're not necessarily thinking about your hand mechanics or your thumb mechanics on how to do a fireball. You're thinking about lots of other things. When you should attack, when you should defend, there's a lot of things going on the screen that your mind's trying to process. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to train your thumb memory or your hand memory, your wrist memory, your finger memory, how to do these special moves so that when it comes down to it in a match, you're not just like shutting out what's happening in a match and you're like focusing on going down, forward, hitting a punch button. You do that all in training. You don't want to do that in a match. You do that all in training so that when you do get in a match, your thumb or your wrist or your fingers know this is how to do a fireball, right? Or this is how to do an uppercut, right? So anyways, practice makes perfect, guys. Get into training. Do it over and over again until you have it down and you have no errors. If you have an error, start all over again. If you're doing 1 to 10 and you mess up at 8, well, guess what? Start at 1 again, try to do 10 in a row, and then graduate, move on to the right side, do that, and then graduate, move on to the next one. Once you have everything down, guys, this will be a good stepping stone on becoming a better Street Fighter 5 player for sure. Awesome. If you guys liked the video, drop a like down below. That really helps me. Comment down below on anything in the video. I definitely do read them. And subscribe. That really helps me a lot as well. And that's it, guys. Have a good one.